Welcome into the Gramlich and McLean podcast presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and McLean. Week 12, somehow, Mac, I do not know. We have a big game tonight, a big Friday night game. We've had some good Friday night games, but this is one that I think people are excited for. Of course, you had Miami-Louisville on a Friday night that everyone watched. But there's a lot to get into, Eric McLean. How are we? How are we doing?
We are excited. And you know what's interesting about, this Friday night game you bring up? They have not been very favorable to the ranked team, the team that's
Correct.
supposed to win. So let's go frickin' Tigers. I feel good. I'm excited about it. We'll see. We'll see. I think this is a fascinating game, which we'll dive into, all this stuff here in a bit. But I'm excited. I'm excited to go to Pittsburgh. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody, gets there safely with all these crazy flights. And I think the government's back. I think we're working. So that's good. That's a big part. But yeah, excited to go to the Steel City. Huge matchup versus Notre Dame. Like I said, that little show Game Day decided to come with us. We just put them on the back of our truck and pull them along. But it'll be fun. So I get to see our girl Christine. I'm going on their digital show. And Harry and Harry. So that'll be fun to be a part of that. And of course, our coverage, just seeing all the Pitt fans and a massive game. There's no other game on in the ACC at noon. So I got to put my feet up in the stadium, watch this great game, and go to work. This is a big perk of the job when this happens. It has not happened all year. This is the first time where we just get to watch the noon game where we are in person. So I'm pretty excited. It's an impactful weekend, actually, KG. I know next weekend's a little bigger in regards to some of the chaos that could happen, some of the leveling out of this conference championship run here. But there's some sneaky little games here on this week, too.
Absolutely. And I always enjoy maybe one trip to Pittsburgh a year. I don't like to go a million times because it is basketball season when I go and it's freaking cold.
Little cold.
But great food city, Pittsburgh is. So I know, Mac, that you will be living it up. And
I actually have to bring something up. Sorry, don't forget what
go ahead.
To interject. So Miami fans are big fans of our show. Like they're tuned in, they're locked in, you always watch. They had a bone to pick with you. They were pretty offended. Some of them told me because you were rattling off these food cities. You said Charlottesville, you said Boston, and maybe one other one, and you did not say Miami. They're like, what the heck? What are we doing? What are you talking about? So they're offended, just so you know.
That's a good point. Okay, here's the truth about like how I think about the ACC. And because I said Boston, I really have no defense because it's hard to think of Boston and Miami as ACC cities, right? Like those are massive.
College, you're saying college town.
Yeah. Those are massive.
You weren't thinking of the big city metropolises
cities
that we also have.
But I do love going to Miami, guys. Okay. And especially when I get to go to Miami in January, February. I went in February last year for a game and gosh, I forget where, but my play-by-play partner and I, Jen Hildreth, who I love, we ate at a spot pretty close to the Watsco Center, ate lunch there. It was so good. And I have no clue what the name is, but that's the beauty of Miami is, you can just throw a stone and you're going to find a great spot. So
I have a quarrel about Miami. So I had a spot there that we always went. Literally I've been there as many times I've been to Miami. I've gone to this place called Havana Harry's. The best food. They were like shut down for like some ordinance. Like they wasn't like a clean place or something. I'm like, yikes. Can we open it back up though? Cause it's really good. So hopefully if anyone can update me, is Havana Harry's right by Coral Gables, right by the university. Is that open? Like, am I good to go back there? Cause I was pretty distraught when I walked up and there was a big sign on the door said closed. I was depressed.
Mac, I hope for your sake that we get some answers on this mystery down there in Miami. But you're right. Miami fans, I'm so sorry. Obviously, you guys are an amazing food city. My apologies. But speaking of food, let's get to a message from our great friends over at Ingles, and then we need to dive into these games.
Did you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
All right, Mac, let's get into these games. A quick refresher on the latest playoff poll. Miami's at 15, Georgia Tech 16, Virginia 19, Louisville 20, Pitt 22. A lot at stake. Still so much that could happen. Miami trying to get in as an at-large because they pretty much there's no way they're going to play for the ACC title, which is probably why we shouldn't have 17-team conferences. But anywho, let's start with tonight's game. Clemson at number 20, Louisville, 7:30 p.m. ESPN. Louisville 2.5-point favorite. Louisville got its first win ever over Clemson last year in Death Valley. Some would argue maybe that was kind of the big, I don't know the beginning, but people always look back and cite that game as like, okay, now you're losing at home and you're losing by double digits at home. And then even though you did go on to make the playoff, things unraveled as they have. But that was the first time Louisville ever beat Clemson. Prior to that, Clemson had won, I believe, 8 in a row ever since they had joined the ACC. And Louisville's in a really interesting spot, Mac. They're coming off a brutal loss to Cal, kind of reminiscent of some of the tough losses they've taken in November in recent years. Isaac Brown is out. He's not going to play, which is terrible for Louisville fans. Miller Moss has been struggling. It kind of feels, and I mean this in the most respectful way. I'm curious what this crowd's like, right? Like have they moved on to hoops in some way, shape, or form? I hope not.
Yeah.
But that Cal loss was really tough for Louisville overall.
Yeah, that's a good question, too, because their hoops are pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
They're going to be really good. ACC's really good right now. Shout out to them. Great start for men's. And Hannah Dalga the other night.
And women. I mean, that's the thing. Women are always good. So you're not.
I do want to peel back the curtain of here because I know you were dreaming of Ingles steaks. You text me at 5 a.m. and said 16 steaks. That's crazy. I'm like, wow. I just got so happy reading that. I know you.
I was feeding a baby and very, very tired. Continue.
That was funny. But yeah, I'm right there with you. You know, when you look at these guys, are they going to show up? Are they going to be there? Are they going to be packed? No, I think so because it's Friday night. Big draw, obviously, for the Clemson Tigers. How many Clemson fans travel to?
Yeah.
That's a fun place to go. Again, being on Friday maybe is a little interesting, and maybe that's a little difficult for some people to be able to swing that. But it could be a big factor. It could be a big indicator in this game and just what they want to do. Because I think everything you laid out is extremely true. So just looking at it from the Louisville side here. You're missing your best player in Isaac Brown, who is not able to go, who is such a key part, who killed Clemson last year, running the football. Miller Moss has not been playing his best this last couple weeks. He just has struggled, hadn't seen the field very clearly, hadn't pushed the ball, downfield. Does that change against Clemson, who has struggled in the secondary this year, especially in pass coverage? Are they able to get the ball out quick? Like they were against Miami, and can Chris Bell and Colin Lacey, run after the catch, yards after the catch? Can they be super effective from that standpoint? Can the other running backs, Watson and the other Browns, step up? I'm interested just to see what does that attack look like. Clemson defense just as inconsistent as you can be, frustrating, and really even when you go back to that Florida State game. There was a lot Florida State missed, like drop passes for touchdowns, missed throws for touchdowns, some silly holding penalties, some silly drop catches that could have converted and really changed the game. So, did Clemson beat them? Did Florida State beat themselves? Kind of the question. It is a big dose of reality coming when they line up against the Cardinals here. I am just interested to kind of see that. But on the complete other side, the Clemson offense since October 1 has been light years different, consistent, pushing the ball downfield with Cade Klubnik, let me add, and how well he has been playing. And I know that's frustrating because it's kind of like at this point, who cares? It's over. Nothing really matters. But he has been playing his tail off. He has not turned the ball over, pushing the ball downfield. I've loved seeing Gideon Davidson and Adam Randall in that backfield. There's so many things happening that you're just like, if we could back it all the way up to LSU and start with this, yeah, we're in a great spot. It'd be awesome to kind of see this, at least, again, from the offensive perspective. I think the defense has sadly regressed since then. Offensive line played okay. Again, love what I'm seeing out of Jacobs. I think he's just an excellent, excellent player. Again, he's at guard. Don't know why. I'm going to say that until he moves out of that position. Antonio Williams, the real deal. I mean, just an absolute freakazoid. So the Clemson offense is impressive. And so the overarching question, I think, is, KG, can Louisville keep up with that? I don't know if they can without Isaac Brown. I don't know if they can with how inconsistently Miller Moss has been playing right now. So I see the stats. I see the ESPN predictor. I see what Vegas thinks. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, and honestly, I was kind of surprised the playoff committee didn't drop Louisville lower. I
Uh-huh.
thought 20, considering how they treat the ACC, was pretty generous. Of course, Louisville has the win over Miami, which is huge. So that is working in their favor. And they beat Pitt. So you've got that win too, as Pitt continues to climb up in the polls. But when you look at what just happened with Louisville and Cal, Sagapolatele, he was unreal. I mean, he threw for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. De Jesus was great for them. So that's tough for Louisville. Like, we all thought this Louisville defense, they've been very good all year and a lot better than we thought, Mac. We thought that was the question mark. And now kind of the offense has become the question mark. But if you're going to give up, and Sagapoltela can sling it, I know that. But you just gave up that kind of performance to him. Cade Klubnik has that ability as well.
Right.
And Clemson, they'd prefer to pass it. They haven't run the ball super consistently all year. They have guys. I'd love to see more Gideon Davidson. Clemson fans will all remember, what was it, Mac? 2017. This was the Travis Etienne breakout game at Louisville. He had
Probably
like
around then. Probably,
90-yard run.
yeah.
So I think I was at that game actually in Louisville. Great city. Love going to Louisville. Elite food town, but not Miami. But overall, I would love to see more Gideon Davidson. I think every Clemson fan would too. And to your point, Mac, like, look, the one thing on the line is the bowl streak. And I did want to mention that Clemson has the 4th longest bowl streak in the country.
Uh-huh.
If they make a bowl this year, it would be 20 straight years. Only Georgia, Oklahoma, Alabama are ahead of them. You got to win 2 of the last 3. Louisville obviously looks more gettable at this point. And I just do have some questions about where Louisville is mentally. Where's their culture? Where are they going to be ready to go here? That's my big question.
I have no question about feeling better right now or worse, however you look at it, because 2 weeks ago, I'm looking at this game like
Yeah.
they're going to lose by 20. I mean, these guys are going to get absolutely housed. And there's some injuries that play a key part in that. There's, just teams trending downward and upward and whatever. So I agree with you. Now, I do still think that Coach Braum is one of the best in the country. And so I have to imagine he has them right. But, when it translates, it's great. When it doesn't, it's not. And so where are they going to be? I'm not this again. I'm not even going to say it. I'm taking Clemson. I think Clemson wins for all those reasons I just laid out. I don't think Louisville can keep up, and they haven't shown that. And so I think that Clemson is, positively trending right here. I think Cade Klubnik's playing very well with a hurt ankle, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The hurt ankle has made him stay in the pocket more, has made him slow down. And that's processed positively for throwing this ball, which is, as weird as that sounds, I would like to run him less, run the running backs more, and let him just sling it down the field.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Mac, the Clemson offense has looked really good. Even with Vizina, it looked really good against SMU. That hasn't been the problem. Now, this defense has been porous, and this could be a get-right game for Miller Moss. But when you look at how the quarterbacks are playing, Cade is definitely playing better. And, it's weird with Louisville. Like, they still have running backs that can get the job done. As much as you miss Isaac Brown, Keyshawn Brown, and Duke Watson, they're great. So I think a lot of it comes down to quarterback play. And Cade Klubnik is playing better. Better than Miller Moss, I'll say. I don't know, Mac. Just having the faith in Clemson to go do this. I don't feel like everything's fixed just because you beat a Florida State team that's a disaster.
Sure.
I'm
My kind of point
processing this in
was-
real time.
My point was, I'm not picking you till you prove it. And they
Yeah.
proved it last week. And again, I agree with you. Maybe did Florida State take it, but you
Sure.
still did it. You did it. And we both know how hard it is to win, and you made it happen. And you were able to get the victory. I just think Louisville's playing that bad right now.
Yeah. Okay, let me add this before I make my pick. Louisville is 0-6 against the spread at home this season, and they've been a favorite in all of those games. That's from intern Nick. S&P Plus, though, disagrees with Vegas. They have Louisville as a 7.6-point favorite. Vegas only has them as a 2.5-point favorite.
That's fascinating.
I'm going to take Louisville.
There we go.
I'm
I
going to take
like
Louisville.
this.
I think Louisville at home, this Clemson defense, like, Brown and Watson are still dudes, and Miller Moss, he's had, like, a lot of it comes out of Miller Moss. But if he can just play decently and not turn the ball over, I think this defense will give up points. And then you got to beat Furman and you got to beat South Carolina to make a bowl, if that happens. But, South Carolina's got its own issues. All right, Mac, let's get to the big game of the weekend. We spent a lot of time on this game in our Wednesday episode. Go listen to it. The Nardoos, Coach Pat Narduzzi joined us. Thought it was really interesting what he was saying about the process of switching to Mason Heinschel quarterback. Number 9, Notre Dame is at number 22, Pitt, noon on ABC. Notre Dame's a 12.5-point favorite. On Wednesday, when we recorded, Mac, they were an 11.5-point favorite. So that has gone up. The last time these two played 2 years ago, Mac, it was Notre Dame 58, Pittsburgh 7. That was a rough one. And then in 2020 was Notre Dame 45, Pittsburgh 3. The last close game, and they've only played a few times, but the last close game was 2018. Notre Dame only won by 5. This whole game is really interesting, Mac, overall. I think you and I both have a good amount of faith in Pitt, but Notre Dame, it feels like you doubt them going into a game like this, and pretty much every year they prove you wrong. They win, they cover. Like, do you get that feeling
Yeah.
from Notre Dame in a game like this?
No, I do. And it's just, unfortunately, what they do, and then they've had, a great run, going against ACC teams in the regular season. And this is a good team. This is a team that's gotten better. And I love to, kind of throw up the point of, well, they haven't played anybody. Well, Pittsburgh hadn't either.
Yeah.
And so neither one of these teams, I mean, this is by far both of their biggest tests, today. USC, you could mention for.
You're talking about Notre Dame's wins. Notre Dame did play Miami and A&M.
Yeah, early. I don't care about again, losing, first week of the season.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, since their wins and the things they've been able to do, why we feel good about them, who they're beating that we feel good about, for these teams. I think CJ Carr is electric. What is going to be interesting to me is, can Pitt make them one-dimensional? Can they put it all on his shoulders to throw the ball downfield accurately, maybe to run it a little bit? And is he able to do that? Because he's still a freshman at the end of the day. This is a big game. Game day is going to be there. It's on ABC. It's a sellout. All these different things. There's a lot of external pressures that everyone in this game, both these quarterbacks, one a redshirt freshman in CJ and a true freshman in Heinschel Mason, is going to be interesting. How do they fare? So that's what I'm looking at from a Pitt defense. Can those star linebackers, who I think are going to be back, we will actually not get an injury report because this is not a conference game. So I assume that they will be back and ready to go because of the impact of this game and what it means. Are they able to influence that? What are they able to do? And Desmond Reed, can he go? I mean, it's as great of a player as he is. If he's sitting there on the sideline, he ain't helping us. He ain't doing nothing for us. So can he get in? How much can he impact this game? And can they try to take advantage, of this Pitt defense?
Great point with Des Reed. And also great point with injury report, because I kind of forgot about that. So I guess we'll know at 11 a.m. Maybe he's out there and doing whatever. But, Mac, I think this is, this type of game is the argument for the expanded playoff. Because it's a playoff type game for both teams. Now, of course, with Narduzzi's now infamous comments, Pitt can technically lose this game and make the playoff. They win the ACC, and they're one of the 5 highest rated conference champions. But still, it's a massive game. For Notre Dame, will they put a 3-loss Notre Dame in? Maybe, because it's Notre Dame, but most likely not. So this is a massive game for both teams. This is a crazy stat, Mac, from intern Nick. I had to read this 3 times to make sure I was reading it right.
You were right.
This is really, really interesting. And Nick says this is from Brad Powers. Notre Dame has not lost as a double-digit road favorite since 1997.
Wow.
Since 2000, Notre Dame, this is a different stat, since 2000, Notre Dame has been a 7-point or more road favorite 35 times, and they are 35-0 straight up. They are 21-14 against the spread, which is also very good in that stretch. So that speaks to what I'm saying. It feels like this is just what it feels like. We hype this game up. Can Pitt do it? It's still a 12.5-point spread. And Notre Dame, they play way better in this type of game than they do at Boston College or whatever. It feels like there's that. But the other big part of this, too, is that Pitt's been fantastic against the run. They're only giving up 81 rushing yards per game. I think 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. So can they do it, Matt? Can they get those linebackers back to your point? And can they make CJ Carr throw the ball?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So I think the play is definitely the under, which is 53.5. And I'm going
and
Pitt.
A noon game.
I'm going Pitt to cover here. I do think Notre Dame probably wins, but give me the Panthers to cover, make it interesting. And who knows, if it comes down to a last second something, who do you feel better about with the ball in their hands, needing to lead a fourth quarter, kind of comeback. We saw it in game 1, against Miami there, and he did everything he had to do, got it down, tied it up, and then, Miami ultimately won that game. What can Heinschel do when the pressure's on from that standpoint? This guy's undefeated as a starter. He's never lost. So I'm fascinated to see how do these two teams duke it out. But give me Pittsburgh to cover.
I agree. I think Pittsburgh will cover the 35-0 straight up. When you're a 7-point or more road favorite since 2000 is insane.
That
I
is
mean,
insane.
that's impressive. The big thing for me in this game, I think Notre Dame still wins it. But if Heinzel has 0 picks, even furthermore, if Pitt has 0 turnovers, I think they have a real chance.
Yeah.
But Heinzel with those late picks against Stanford, that was a little like, what's going on here? And he even threw some picks against Florida State, but you could afford that, right? In that other big matchup they have. But yeah, I think we're pretty much in alignment on that game, Mac. And
Yeah.
excited for you. Where's the huddle going to be? Give us our location.
Oh, great question. I don't know. We'll be somewhere. Somewhere. You can't miss us. Can't miss us. We're close to game day. We're over there somewhere. Just look for the bald guy in the big trucks. There's a lot of them. We're blue. Game day's orange. We're blue. So
Love it.
easy to find.
Mac, I will say you're not going up there as a fan. I went to one Clemson Pitt game up there, and I've told you about this.
Yeah.
It was a nooner, I believe. Some rowdy fans, which I liked.
Sure.
Some vulgar, perhaps is the
We
word.
got cussed out at Pittsburgh.
So did I, and I was just there as a fan.
This guy's screaming and complaining about the refs to us. I'm like, buddy, what do you think I can do about this right now? And he's just blistering us. It was crazy. He was drunk out of his mind. It was wild.
That's the other thing I was going to add is, and this is not a shocker to anybody, but people in Pittsburgh can drink.
Yeah. Well, Narduzzi asked him. He said it's a noon game. Get liquored up. Let's go. So
yeah, there you go.
Listen to your coach, but don't come at me.
Hey,
I'm on your team. I'm with
but
you.
Mac, that's also an interesting point. Like, how many Notre Dame fans are there, right?
A lot.
We need a lot of Pitt fans there. Yeah, to fill that stadium. All right, number 15, Miami is hosting NC State, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Miami's a 15.5-point favorite. NC State coming off a bye. That is very interesting, coming off beating Georgia Tech and ruining everything. We love it. Miami with a lot to play for. They need style points, Mac. You cannot, you can't win this game. You know, a couple years ago, 2021, you win it by 1. 2020, you win it by 3. Actually, NC State beat Miami in 2023. You need style points here, Mac.
Yeah, you have to. And I don't know if this is the game you're going to do it. It should be. Obviously, Vegas thinks that. The matchup predictor, 88% that Miami wins the game. And who knows? Maybe this is the ACC thing here, KG. We think because what these guys just did to Georgia Tech and NC State, we're like, oh God, give me the Wolfpack. These guys are going to do it. Everybody's happy. We're celebrating. They're going to beat Miami. They're going to play close. Maybe they cover against Miami. Maybe that's the ACC thing. Is not so fast. Miami wins by 50.
Got it. I see.
Maybe that's the ACC thing right now because we expect the Wolfpack to do their thing. I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect from Miami. No idea what I'm going to get from them. Am I going to get sad Carson on the sideline? Am I going to get happy Carson catching touchdown passes? I don't know.
You're going to get 11 penalties from Miami?
I don't know. Is the offensive line going to go forward? Are we going to run the ball in the A gap or are we going to try to go outside? I don't know. It is a fascinating case study. The one thing I do know that seems to be pretty accurate about this team, this defense is so dramatically improved. They are playing so well. Coach Heatherman, fantastic hire. The athletes that they've brought in, the guys that are playing at a high level. It's been fun to watch. And I tell you, when you just see these guys and you see, a guy like Keontae Scott just time after time making all these huge plays for the Miami defense. It's been fun. And so can the offense, which I never would have thought I'd say this, however many weeks into the season, can they be consistent? Can they be balanced? Can they be all the things that they were so perfectly well for half the season? And it just goes to show you how hard football is. And so we'll see if they are able to do that, if they can stay out of their own way, if they can push the ball downfield. Breaking news, get a call sheet and that on this side right here, it says, get the ball to Malachi Toney.
Yeah.
And there's 20 options on how to do that. That would be my go-to right now. You've got to get him the ball. You have to get him early and often, get him invested, in the game and invest into him in the game. That to me, if he doesn't touch it multiple times in the first 10 plays, alarms. What is going on? Why are we so dumb? Just get him the ball. So we'll see. That's kind of my biggest one for them. Do they have guys back? They were missing a lot of guys. Fletcher, I don't know if he'll be able to go. CJ Daniels, I think, is close. It's go time. Let's get in the game and let's make a difference here. What do we want to do? On the NC State side, CJ Bailey's going to be licking his chops. He gets to come back home to Miami. Like, this dude's
Yeah.
going to be excited. He's going to be thrilled. We already saw Isaac Brown, what he did in his homecoming against, Miami there, being from the area. I think he's trying to go crazy. And who knows with Hollywood, if he's able to go, is he out for, some extended time there? But I would have to imagine CJ Bailey's going for 300 plus, no problem. Like, he's going to be slinging that rock and playing at a super high level, even though this team's been really talented on the defensive side.
Even with how good this defense has been, CJ Bailey, that's the thing, though. CJ Bailey played so well against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's defense has not been great all year.
Correct.
So
Correct.
maybe Miami can put up more of a fight. But the other defense that hasn't been good is NC State's.
Yeah.
They're giving up 425 yards a game. So if Miami
Trust me,
can't,
Kelly, all that makes sense. And I
know,
believe you. It just never works that
I
way.
know.
Whatever reason.
Never. I totally agree. Miami's got to be explosive again. Like, that's, to me, part of what they're missing. And you bring up Malachi Tony, of course. You think of, like, Florida State. I mean, it was, 3 or 4 plays. They're up 20. Like, that. They need that. They need that creativity a little bit more. Push the ball downfield, like you said, Matt. Can we see that? And it's do or die time, right? Like, and this is what's the word? The bias here with the ACC. You can't just beat NC State. You got to beat them. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to beat them by 3 touchdowns? Like, what would qualify for you as this is Miami getting a win that could maybe impress the committee?
Yeah, 20 plus.
Okay.
20 plus, especially with the fact of what NC State just did to Georgia
Right.
Tech. And they love to bring that up, which that guy, by the way, like, kicked out of the committee. I
Yeah,
don't even know
what?
how much we want. I thought it was like some health stuff, but he's actually just maybe not a good person. Crazy.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I
Interesting.
saw that.
Fascinating. I'll send you some articles. It's interesting. I'm kind of
And
waiting for more to come out before I go super hard about
him
it.
doubling down on getting dominated on both sides of the ball for
Double
Georgia
down
Tech.
on
It's
that,
like, bro.
and then gets kicked off the committee. Don't mess with Buzz. That's all I got to say. You come for Buzz, we
Absolutely.
come for you, and you're out of here. So anyway, we'll see. I think that would be impressive though for them to do that. And you're right. Like, JoJo, let's go. Let's catch the ball downfield, make some plays. You got it. You can do it. Trust me, I've seen it. And Carson Beck just has to be Carson Beck. He's got to be the guy, and I think he can be. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna go
It's a big number.
the Wolfpack cover in hopes that Miami covers.
Yeah. I
Go
think
Black.
NC State
Back.
probably covers here. How's the crowd? 330, right? Here's a stat from Internet. Cristobal has gone 9-19-1 against the spread against conference opponents since 2022. He wins, but not necessarily convincing. Well, wins in September and October.
Nice. Love that.
Yeah, I think we both are taking the Pack to cover there,
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what Miami can do.
Miami wins the game, but
Yeah,
that cover.
I think. Mac, I do not have a lot of thoughts on number 16 Georgia Tech at Boston College, mainly because Boston College is so bad.
Better have some thoughts.
I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on Georgia Tech. You had a bye week, coach. Hey, coach, how was the bye week? How'd the bye week go?
Why do I still have all this sitting right here?
I love that you have that there.
It's never
I
left.
wish I had my Buzz stuff here, but I don't.
Great.
Jacob
I know.
has
I need
taken that.
I need coach to sign this if I ever see him this year again. Maybe I will. ACC championship, maybe.
There we go.
Yeah, coming off the bye week, some guys getting healthy, you would assume, some guys
Yes.
getting ready, and you've just sat there for however many days thinking about how you almost gave away an opportunity, and maybe how you did give away an opportunity. Who knows? We don't know what happened because you let NC State win. You just forgot how to play on defense. I have to imagine they had one of the more physical weeks that they've had. Maybe. I don't know. I should have called him. Just to see what he's doing. Maybe we'll get him on next week, actually. That might be a good guess. 2 weeks in a row, though. They played Georgia after that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see. And maybe we save them. But I have to think that they're ready. And you talk about making a statement. I mean, these guys are 8-1. And there's 16 in the country. Like, nobody respects you. Nobody thinks you're good. And so, unfortunately for Boston College, you get to feel that. And listen, we saw, I said, Louisville, you better run for 300. SMU, you better run the ball effectively. Clemson, and they all did. So Georgia Tech might run for 400 yards. I mean, they seriously might. They might run the ball that much. And I'm interested too. I'm going to have this conversation with, Coach Jimbo Fisher here this weekend, because we'll touch on this game. How do you coach this game? Because you are coming off a loss, but this team is horrible. and you don't necessarily need Haynes King to run the ball 30 times
Right.
this game.
And you've
Like, you
had
can
injury
depend on him,
issues.
but do you want the stats to win the Heisman? Do you want to keep him healthy to win the ACC and a playoff and a champion? Like, what do you want to do? How do you balance
Mm,
that? I'm really interested to see what that really looks like at the end of the day here. With all that said, Georgia Tech needs to win by 30 plus and needs to hammer running the football.
yeah. And they also need style points, I guess. Like, if you don't know what's necessarily going to happen, tiebreaker situation of getting into the ACC championship, you need the style points too. So that's the other argument of you don't really want to rest guys.
Right.
But you do have a very capable backup, as we've talked about many times about Georgia Tech. So I like Georgia Tech covering. I think that number is pretty low. Georgia Tech coming off a bye
Yeah.
with how mad they're going to be and how they can just run the football, and BC so beat up. You got so many issues going on. Georgia Tech's got to cover that. Like, what does Vegas know? That number feels low.
I think so. I would think so. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Vegas knows everything. Speaking of Vegas, Vegas has Duke as a 5.5-point favorite over number 19 Virginia in Durham. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN2. These two they play pretty much every year, and I was going to say they tend to play close games because it feels like it, but the only close game that these two teams have played in the last 5 years was 2 years ago when they played in 2023. 2022, Duke blew out Virginia. 21, 20, and 19, Virginia blew out Duke. So that's interesting. That's not what I would have expected.
Right.
But both coming off terrible, heartbreaking losses.
Yeah.
Chandler Morris, he has been practicing. Virginia's hopeful to have him. I mean, Chandler Morris is kind of like, you can't kill the man, right? Like it's what we always say about Virginia quarterbacks. He's going to limp in there and be ready to go. So he's going to play. But where is Duke, right? Because you still have so much to play for. It's so weird.
Yeah.
You keep losing, but you're losing all the right games,
Right.
I guess. If that's
guess.
even a thing.
Yeah, geez. It's embarrassing. It was what it is. And honestly, if Duke had any honor or dignity,
They would just bow out.
on purpose. No, you can't bow out. But maybe you drop a pass. Maybe you fumble. Maybe you miss a tackle. Like, come
In
on.
this world of gambling, you cannot say that.
Maybe somebody
can't
got
say
some. I don't know. We'll see. With all that said, I fully expect Duke to win this game. Code Blue, full effect. I'm going to be negative and sorrowful and mad and angry and all these things because they're going to win. And it's just how this year has gone. I think that Darian Mensah is very, very good. I think this offense is very good. And it's too much of a roller coaster, though. The defense just forgets how to play at times. I've actually been pretty disappointed overall with this defense and what I thought they could be this season. I know they are too. I know they feel that. Vincent Anthony Jr. is just like disappeared. He had like 4 sacks against Illinois and then just has 2 more the rest of the year. So, guys got to play harder. Guys got to step up. Obviously, if Chandler Morris is available and plays, it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's a totally different conversation. So we'll see. Like you said, both coming off of very disappointing games, maybe even more in particular for Virginia just because they were in first place, and that is now taken away. And you're still ranked, and you didn't free fall too much. So we'll see. But like I said, the ACC thing to happen here is Duke wins this football game.
Absolutely. 100%. Duke is, I said this in our recap episode earlier in the week, Duke is -9 in the turnover margin in their 4 losses.
It's crazy.
Like, that's it. When they have the turnover bug and they have issues with that, they lose.
Yeah.
When they don't turn the ball over, they tend to win. So
Different.
that's a big issue here.
Right.
Mac, I'm going with my Who's. I believe in my Who's.
Really?
I actually think you could argue the ACC thing to happen here is Virginia wins the game. Because then they just continue to teeter, right? And it's like,
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I understand it would obviously be good for the ACC for Virginia to win,
Right.
and then that's not the inherent ACC thing to happen.
Correct. I think
But
you're talking
give me the
yourself
Who's.
out of this one. I think
Chandler Morris
maybe
is going to play no matter what.
Yeah. We'll see. Maybe. I hope so. Also, this is like an ACC championship game elimination game. So
Yeah.
losers out, winner keeps the dream alive. So we'll see. I'm going Duke. You're going Virginia. And our bonus is to talk about these last 2 games.
Yay! Well, UNC Wake, big for both teams. Both teams coming off wins. Wake's a 6.5-point favorite, 4:30 p.m. on the CW. When Wake plays on the CW, crazy stuff happens. So that's fun. And, Wake's at home. This is a game that feels a bit tricky to me just because Wake's coming off a huge win and they're still only a 6.5-point favorite. Like what's going on there? That spread smells a little bit. But Wake also, it's not like they played great at Virginia.
I know.
They had that big punt return and their defense held up against a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I do believe in Jake Forrest, though. I'll tell you that. I think the Deeks win this game and probably cover. I'll take him to cover.
You said Jake Forrest. I'm like thinking
Jake Forrest, yeah.
Like is Jake Forrest? Like what position does he play? I get it. I'm with it. That's
Matt,
on me.
come on, educate yourself. Look up a roster.
I'm not locked in. Both these defenses playing very well. Wake Forest much more consistent throughout through the entire year there. What we've seen from North Carolina these last couple of weeks, this last month it's been a little something. It's been way better than what I thought a month ago of what this team would look like. There's a pulse there, and they look like they're getting better, and they're finding guys. I mean, the fact that Damon June is their leading rusher, a guy that we didn't even know who that was a couple of weeks ago, is saying something. He's playing very, very well. So I think this is actually going to be a great game. That's why I think the number kind of is where it is. It's a sellout. Shout out to Deep Nation there. I hope they show up. Hope it's a lot of they're doing a blackout of that in the stands. We'll see whoever shows up there. But I think it's going to be a good one. I'm going to lean Wake Forest because I think they have been more consistent, but nothing surprises me this year at all. But I think the Deacons get it done. 7 wins with opportunity for more. Are you kidding me?
Jake Forrest. Mac, Virginia Tech is at Florida State. This is 7:30 p.m. ACC Network. Florida State's a 14.5-point favorite somehow. A few crazy stats with this game. Florida State and Virginia Tech, because they were in separate divisions for so long, have only played 3 times since they played each other in the 2010 ACC championship game.
Wow.
That's crazy. Florida State's won 2 of the 3. The one that Virginia Tech won was, remember, 2018? I think it was the opening game of the season. We were all like, Virginia Tech's ranked. We thought Virginia Tech was so good because they beat Florida State 24-3, and then Florida State ended up being terrible. So I remember that one. Florida State's gone 1-5 against the spread in conference games this season, 3-10-1 against the spread in the last 2 seasons combined. UConn has more ACC wins in the past 2 seasons than Florida State does. Virginia Tech is also one of the worst against the spread teams in the country. Neither of these teams cover.
Wow.
They don't cover Matt.
So it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
I kind of think Virginia Tech's going to cover this. I'm not sure they're going to win, but where is Florida State coming off that Clemson loss?
Well, apparently they had their most physical practices, their best practices. That's what I was told in the media. That's what I heard. And maybe so. I mean, there's a lot to glean from it. Again, you beat yourself. You lost.
True.
I don't know if you necessarily got beat. You dropped wide open touchdowns. You missed wide open touchdowns. Didn't finish plays. Gave up a bunch of silly stuff. I think that would be encouraging for a competitor to see that and be like, man, we should have won. Let's do it this week against these guys. If you don't, might be weird. Might get weird there.
Yeah, this feels like a very desperate situation for the program, for Norvell, because if they make a bowl versus if they don't, that could be a big
right. But I will say this: if they do make a bowl, let's not quickly forget these guys won 2 games a year.
I know.
They were.
When you beat Alabama, people tend to forget.
I know. So we'll see. Give me Florida State.
Okay.
I think they cover. You're going Hokies?
Hokies to cover.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Weird week. Hopefully not so weird. We'll see. I would love a break. Oh, I look forward to this Monday. Everything going well. Optimistic. Happy. I can't.
Every ranked team is playing, Mac. What could go wrong?
Could go wrong. Nothing's going to go
What
wrong.
could go right?
That's where we need to be. That's the mentality. I'm excited for it. And it all starts tonight, Friday night. My mood could quickly be altered. We'll see. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. Jump in the comments. Where are you with us? Where are you against us? What do you think is going to happen this weekend? Who's going to be in the ACC championship? We're going to bring that up Sunday. I need a little bit more sample. Then we're going to solidify and maybe put our feet down on some teams. We will see. But we appreciate you guys always. Go subscribe, as I mentioned. And until Monday, we'll see y'all.
Rollback just dropped their licensed game day collection. Polos, hoodies, Q-zips, custom designed for your school. On game days, we wear Rollback, period.